You know, credibility is critical to increase sales. A lack of trust costs sales. I think you agree with that. Distrust costs you credibility, and a loss of credibility adds to the time cycle, generally reduces your chances at a sale, and even if you got the sale, it's going to drop your margins, how much money you can collect for that sale. Okay, now look, a person could trust you, and you could actually lose credibility. I'll give you an example. Running back and forth to someone to check with. I got to go check with Bob. I got to go check with John. I got to go check with somebody else. What's happening is they're not trusting you now to deliver them a professional service. Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know. I can't tell you that yet. Causes credibility issues. Credibility is one of those valuable assets you have as a salesperson. This has nothing to do with trust. It has something to do with gaining trust or losing trust. Credibility is critical key to you appearing as a professional, giving them the reinforcement and support they need to make a decision. When something happens that puts your credibility into question, maybe you misquote something, you give the wrong information, you say something that's not true and they check on the net and find out it's not, hey, you lose your credibility. Then it becomes difficult for the buyer to trust them or you with their decision, okay? So if there's an element of distrust, credibility is even more difficult. Would you agree? If an element of distrust exists, no matter what you say, how you beg, plead, persuade, realize you're going to have your hands full. So you have to handle this distrust. And then once you get trust, you have to appear credible. And we're going to be talking about in other segments, how do I actually validate that what I'm saying is true? Because look, you could be very credible. You could rebuild credibility, have credibility, and the buyer might have some misinformation, false information, incorrect information, and then those two things will collide. Your data being accurate, theirs being inaccurate, it collides, lose credibility. Ignoring the credibility issue will not make the credibility issue disappear. If you're not credible, you're not credible. You know, putting your head in the sand and not looking at that issue or distrust doesn't change the fact it's not there. It has to be handled. When the buyer doesn't trust, you're not getting a sale. When the buyer doesn't have credibility or belief in you, you're probably not going to get the sale. You could use every great closing line in the world, okay? If there's no trust and no credibility, no sense of this cat knows what he's talking about, your closes are going to fall on deaf ears. Now, we're not talking about selling now, okay, folks? We're talking about getting you to a place where you're beyond a salesperson. They don't even see a salesperson anymore. They see a true professional. When I deal with somebody, I don't get challenged a lot because they know I am on my game. And when I'm on my A game, my best game, I'm building trust, keeping credibility. They're separate issues. They work together. Great salespeople understand this. They understand buyers' distrust. They accept the full responsibility for it. They don't take it personal, and they know the reasons for a lack of trust, okay? And they work that out. So you want to work on credibility. What does that mean? It means you need to know everything there is to know about your field. You need to know about people, your products, your competition. You have to be credible, okay? You can't be running around saying, oh, I don't know. You know, there's a real estate agent in Los Angeles. I know more about the real estate, the houses in Los Angeles, the square footage, the price per square foot, what's available, what's not. I've looked at more homes in my particular price range than she has. That's not cool. She loses credibility with me. Would you agree? And she wants to tell me I'm overpriced or this is worth something. I'm like, look, I know more about it than you do, and you're full-time, and I buy a house every 7 years. She loses credibility. I trust her as a person, but she loses credibility, which means she lengthens the sale process. She makes herself less valuable to me, and then I start shopping other realtors. So you want to get your credibility in there. Again, this virtual training program is not about just teaching you how to sell. It's about making you a master at the art of selling. The skill that you will need no matter what you do, where you go, what you present, whether you own the company or whether you're the janitor. You need credibility. So we're going to work on it in other segments. Just remember, credibility and trust, critical to the sale.